Hi guys, welcome back to the Island Girl Talks. I'm your host, Santana the Alchemist. It's been 2 months since I last uploaded on the channel, which is good compared to previous breaks. 2 months. A lot has happened in the past 2 months. Um, the last episode I uploaded, I believe, was when I was in DR. Yeah, it was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Yeah, a lot has happened since then. Hence why I have not uploaded anything. Yeah, so the last episode I uploaded, I was in DR and I was on a rebirth retreat. And I think that's what we're talking about in the episode. Yeah, I believe so. A lot has happened since then, like I said. When I went to the DR, it was literally like a little Zen trip. It was a rebirth retreat, and it was mainly focused on spirituality, meditating, all of that stuff. And I came back, and I was in a good place, but then I realized that England is depressing. No matter how much you leave, you come back. You leave, you come back. You still gonna come back to depression. So that's what I realized. So I went away, came back, and it was just like back to reality, back to the depression, back to all of that. And in that time, obviously, I realized, because from ever since I was young, meditating and all of them things were like part of my growing up. And since recording the podcast of this year, you lot have heard me talk about, finding God and, praying a lot more and all of that stuff. But I realized after that trip that, yeah, it's all good and well meditating, praying and all of that. But if God is not actually at the center of it all, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So I decided to just, surrender and literally just give my life to God. And that's what I did in the past 2 months. That's what I did. So my journey since then have just been, growing and building a better relationship with God instead of just praying and asking Him to help me and all of that. It became way more than that. And yeah, like back to what I was saying about this country and the depression. When I started this podcast, it was after I ran away to Jamaica. That was the initial. The idea of starting this podcast was because I realized that this country, there was no community for us island girls. I don't know what everybody else. I can only speak for me and my fellow island girls. And I don't think it's just subject to just island girls. I just named it that because it was more so that realization, realizing that when I'm back home, it's completely different from when you're here. And it's just because of how this place is set up and all of that. So I created this podcast to talk about a lot of that on the surface, beneath the surface, all of that. So not straying away from that, I'm trying to bring it back to what it actually was aimed for. That makes sense. Yeah. So now we're in the end of September going into October, and that's when we get this thing called, what's it called? Sure, it's called seasonal depression. That's what it's called. Seasonal depression. And that's when the times start getting cold, start getting all gloomy and depressing. That's when everything's just even more heightened. But overall, I just feel like this country is just depressing, period. But now it's getting worse, where we're going to be hibernating. We're going to be cold. We're going to be miserable. We're not going to be used to this kind of, we're not used to it, but I don't like this kind of weather. It makes me even more depressed. So I feel like now is the time to actually pour into the podcast, to actually, create that community where we can all, feel like we're just not alone. So, yeah, if you feel the same, you're not alone. Yeah, so I didn't really, normally you'd see me with my book and my notes and stuff like this. I just literally decided to just wing this one. Me and God, speak for me because, yeah. But yeah, I just decided to just come on here and just talk off of the top of my brain and just talk. So, on the topic of depression, I wanna speak to the mummies mainly at this point in time. So I've been advised to look at the camera. So I'm looking at the camera. Just a bit more. A bit more. So yeah, on the topic of depression and this country being depressing and miserable, before I go into the mummies bit, I want to say, like, when I speak, you lot are gonna think, a lot of you lot are gonna think I'm crazy until you realize that I'm not actually crazy. Correct me if you think I'm crazy or I'm wrong, but since I've moved to this country and since being here in my adulthood, I've realized that there's just something is the matter with this place, right? I always said the sun is not real. I don't care who wants to tell me something mad. The sun is not real. I'm convinced we live under a dome over here because something is the matter. When you leave, the feeling is just, and then when you come back, it's just something is the matter. The way they turn the weather on and off, something is the matter. Okay? And I am convinced, yeah, that they are deliberately trying to make us go crazy. I don't care who don't believe me, who will believe me at some point. So yeah, like everyone that knows me knows that I call this place the mental institution of the United Kingdom. That's what it's called. Because we are all losing our minds, believe it or not, if you don't want to own it. We are all losing our minds if you allow it, basically. Because something, I don't know, in my little cuckoo brain, in my little world, I feel like it's just something is matter. Since COVID, because I had my son just before COVID, and that's part of the reason why I ran away. Because I saw what was happening to the country and what they were trying to do to all of us. Speaking for the moms, all the moms that had kids during COVID, prior to COVID, or even before that, lockdown with the kids, please, did you not notice what was happening? You never notice what did happen? Why you think that all of a sudden, all these kids nowadays got ADHD, autism, all sorts of behavioral problems? It didn't just come out of nowhere. The kids were not just born like that all of a sudden. I strongly believe that it's part of their programming that they're trying to do. They're trying to make all of the putting them have some kind of behavioral problem so that they can turn the parents them crazy so they can put us all on antidepressants and do what they need to do to us. Yeah. So that is what I've concluded and come up with. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And hence why when I got the opportunity to leave and take my child, I did just that. Because when I was locked up in the house with him during lockdown, I realized that, yeah, man, something is the matter. All these programs that they got on TV, that they got them watching, is just programming them to act like they have behavioral problems. Hence why kids now, they don't speak. They have all sorts of anger issues, all sorts of problems. All sorts of problems. Even the other day I heard what Donald Trump saying, it's the paracetamol that's giving the kids autism and ADHD. Now, I'm not saying I'm a Trump fan or a Trump believer, but the man talks some things that make sense if you don't really want to listen to him, That's what I'm going to say in regards to him. But yeah, back to the fact that, yeah, this place is depressing. It's all of them things there. And I'm gonna speak on it little by little by little in the little episodes there because I know what them come and yeah. So it's just to shed light on those things. So where I started was taking jam out of this country and running away myself so that I'm not over here depressed and living on antidepressants and going through all sorts of stuff because my child is on the spectrum. So that was one of the best decisions I made. And bringing him back here around other kids his age, I realized that, yeah, it was the best thing I did. So, parents that don't have the opportunity to escape, there's a lot that you have to do to try and fight this whole thing that's going on. Starting with YouTube, please stop, stop, stop. If you can, stop your kids from watching YouTube because, yeah. And processed foods, that's the next one. And milk, that's the next one. I feel like me, I go all up in a circles with this, but I'm just trying to say something so that you lot can hear what I'm saying. And for us moms and parents and island girls, find something to do. Go to the gym, find a little hobby, something. I don't know what we're gonna do, but something, and leave when you can. Yeah, is that a warning, guy? Does that sound like a subliminal message warning? I think that's what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, and the most important part, find God. Because only God can help you in this. I'm not even telling you no lie. Only God can help you in this. If I didn't find God, I feel like I would have probably lost my mind by now. And that's the honest truth. That's the honest truth. So the 2 months that I have not posted anything, I've just been on a journey. I've been contented, but I've been on a journey of, building my relationship with God and understanding more and more that everything that I'm doing has to be through Him. It can't be me trying to do it and figure it out on my own, or trying to figure it out and try and meditate and manifest and all these things without Him being the center of it. So yeah, moving forward, I'm just gonna try be as consistent as I can because I do have a lot of other things going on. But this community, I've realized how important it is to be consistent with showing up for you guys, and so that you don't really know that you're not alone, and I know that I'm not alone. So yeah, be mindful of the traps, the programming, everything that they're trying to do to us. Find something to do for your mental well-being. Protect them kids. Find God. That is my conclusion. If you don't know already, you should already know that I do hair. I sell products. I sell food. I sell Jamaican breakfast on weekends. I do well-being events. Hopefully, in the near future, I should have another event coming up. And yeah, more episodes coming soon. I don't want to give you like a time frame because I'm just working on when I feel like it, or when I have the time. I can't burn myself out. That's one thing I've learned as well in the 2 months, that when you need to rest, you need to rest. You can't burn yourself out and work off of nothing, because then you're still not going to get anywhere. So I'm just, working off of, And with that being said as well, I want to shed light on an important person, Tian, that recently lost her life. And I actually want to, shed light on that because she was a big part of me pouring into everything that I'm trying to do. She was very encouraging. I was working with her in the last year, October times. We started working together, and a few weeks ago she lost her life, and yeah, like back to this place is just, yeah, but rest her soul. And part of me pouring into all of this is with her encouragement. So yeah, yeah. Rest in peace, Tian. And yeah, um, yeah. Stay tuned for the next episode. But no, I got something I want to promote past that week. On the topic of what's coming next, you know, I always come back with something when I go away for long. So I thought I would just use this opportunity to show you guys. And you know what? That's with talking about Tian, because this was me and her next. Like, she was supposed to do I was actually meant to gift her this wig for some promo. But yeah, she's no longer with us. So I'm going to take this opportunity to share this new product with you guys. So for the girlies, yeah. Like I said, when I go away for a while, I always come back with something. Yeah? Alright. So this is what I've come back with. I've come back with a product that y'all need in your life. A wig that you lot need in your life. I know this looks like 2 weeks, but it's not 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks in one. Do this and beat me. Okay, sorry. So here we have a frontal wig. 13 by 6 frontal wig, right? Right. So that's a 1 wig. So for the girlies that love a bit of frontal sometimes and love a bit of on and off closure, I got the right product for you. So when you're tired of the frontal and you want to rest the frontal and you want to go glueless and you want to wear a closure wig, you don't have to buy another wig. You just change the wig into a closure wig by zipping it off and on like so. Easy one tool. Wait, let me finish zipping it. And now you have a closure wig. Do this and beat me. I'm joking. No, but for real, I've come to save you lots some coins, save you lots some time, save you lots some appointments. Because literally, for the ones that don't know how to install their frontal wigs on their own, you literally just have to unzip it and put your closure on for your on and off wear. And when you're ready to edge up and do the versatile look, you just zip off the closure and the frontal and put it on. And the good thing about these are you can replace the lace when you're ready. Like when it starts to alopecia, when it starts to get old, you can actually replace the lace. You can literally you can cut it off and put a fresh lace onto it. And it's the same with the closure. You can literally replace it and you always have the back of the wig. Tell me no. What else do y'all like? Well, what else do I need? We don't need nothing else. That's it. That's all you need. So you have literally 2 wigs in one, and you have an option of the closure comes with highlights. If you wanted a highlighted closure, you can mix and match. You can do, and we do this in curly, and we also do it in blonde. So this will be available to pre-order on the website real soon. So if you're not following my pages, it's Santana the Alchemist on Instagram or Slay Queendom. That's where you find us. And yeah, that's the do. So until next time, Thank you for tuning in. I hope I spoke something that made sense, or I hope y'all got the message. I hope some connect. But yeah, until next time, like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you lot on the next episode. We'll talk about all the things we've mentioned, but more in depth. So yeah, toodles.